Welcome everyone, and thanks for tuning in for this episode of Hanging Outside the Rooster Coop. Today we are really excited. We are hanging out with Rebecca Kalous, who is the founder of Elevated Health. And at Rooster we are so fortunate. We get to work with some of the most amazing entrepreneurs in South Florida, and today we were hanging out with one of them. So thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Shayna.
So Rebecca, what do you focus on at Elevated Health? Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do?
Sure. So my mission with Elevated Health is to empower people with tools and education to elevate their health from the comfort of their own home. So the primary aspect of what I work with at the moment is a non-invasive device that people use on themselves from home. So this technology, it's called camera therapy, and it's a combination of 4 non-invasive modalities of near-infrared laser, magnets, low-level ultrasound, and full-spectrum LED all in the same device.
Wow. Sounds really interesting.
Also,
for those of us who don't know a lot about it, what's really cool is we're going to show you more about what we do today. And what I'm really excited about is, Rebecca is so committed to what she does in helping people with their health. You can kind of see behind us, right? What are our bodies made of? How do they work? All of those things. Most of us don't know. And I think often we're just kind of going along on a daily basis, just kind of dealing with what we deal with, and not really sitting and thinking about what can we do and how can we improve the way we feel.
There's so many things that people just kind of assume that, oh, well, this is just how life is. People that are, have a lot of years behind them, they're like, oh, well, that's just old age. It just comes with, pain just comes with age. And I can't count how many people have had that reaction. And I'm like, that doesn't have to be the case. Now, the longer you go without supporting your body naturally, the harder it is to reverse that. But it's something that's why education is such a huge part of what I do, is because we only have one body. We owe it to ourselves to understand what it is that we're doing to it, to be conscious of what we put in our body, how we handle our body, how we moderate our stress, the power of our thoughts. I mean, there's just so many different aspects of it. And, oftentimes I think that people don't do things that are healthy for them because they're like, one, it's too complicated. There's too much going on. I don't want to think about it. I don't understand anatomy. It doesn't make any sense to me. Or it's a fear-based thing. They don't want to give up certain things. Mm-hmm. But when you really understand everything that's going on with everything that's impacting your body, it really can be such a more simplified journey than people usually think.
I love that. And I think it's so true. And I think a lot of times it is just fear-based or the unknown, mm-hmm. that most people just kind of shut off what the possibilities are. And, it's interesting, as Becca was talking about people who, when you age, right, you have this pain. And people look at me and, they're like, oh, you look really young. But even for myself, as I've gotten older, I've always been an athlete. I've always been active. I've always cared about my health. But I feel a lot of pain. I feel different. As I've gotten into my 30s, running's harder, working out's harder, my recovery time feels different, just working too feels different because I'm on my computer like this all the time, and so I wake up with these like aches and pains. I'm like, I feel really old. I feel like I have less movement, less energy, and really stiff, so I can completely understand that, it makes a difference.
Well, it's funny, like everything that you just said, that's kind of the background of why I have my company, is because people say the same thing about me. They look at me, they're like, oh, you're young and fit and healthy. What do you know about pain? And I'm like, you have no idea. There's so many things that people make all these assumptions. You really have no idea what someone has been through. For me, I have scoliosis. And so I had 24/7 neck and shoulder pain before this therapy for 15 years. I actually had a back brace for a little under a year, flew all the way up to Canada. Montreal in the middle of February. It was so much fun.
Sounds fun.
This is why I live in Florida. I can't do the cold. But I've seen chiropractors my whole life, but usually it was a moderate amount of pain. It wasn't anything really severe except for a couple of days out of the year. There was usually like 1 to 3 days out of the year where I would just be on the couch, couldn't function because with migraine, and then that whole area was just in so much pain. So it wasn't very rare, but it would happen. And there was like on a 1 to 10, there was like a 2 or 3 level of pain 24/7. And again, it was one of those things where I just kind of accepted that was my life. And yeah, it's just because that's the association that we have. It's like, oh, you have scoliosis. Like you're gonna be in a moderate amount of pain and discomfort for the rest of your life. That's just how it is. You just kind of live with it and deal with it. Suck it up. You're an athlete. Come on, get over it. Like that's kind of the mentality that we have. But addition to that, I had severe stress for many years, long story short. And so the adrenals are a very important aspect of health. They moderate a lot of different things in the body, and the biggest thing that impacts the adrenals is stress. So when you're in survival mode, or even you're just in constant work mode all the time, it's really taxing on the adrenals. Adrenal fatigue is a very, very common thing. Most people's adrenals are compromised to some degree. And there's not really a whole lot that you can do about them except for just lifestyle changes, eating healthy, moderating your stress, things like that. With Comra therapy, night and day difference with adrenal fatigue, like that.
Amazing. Well, I know none of us, right, have ever dealt with stress or things in our jobs. So, no, I think that's really important because most people in this day and age in our society, it's pretty stress-filled. So I think, understanding the impact that has on our bodies and ways that we can treat that and find a solution is really important. All right, so now Rebecca is going to show us what it looks like to get Comra therapy, which I'm really excited because I have been really hurting, like the back of my shoulder's been hurting. I did a really big workout on Friday, like lower back, everything. So let's treat me.
I'm weird, guys. When someone says they're in pain, I'm like, yes, I can help you. Sorry that you're in pain, but we can, let's come see me.
Let's do it. All right.
Alrighty, let me swivel here. All right, so real quick, just a little bit about Comra and what it is. So Comra therapy, like I said, it combines 4 non-invasive modalities, with laser therapy being the primary one. Now, what it's doing to the body, which is important for people to understand, is it's significantly increasing ATP production, which is the fuel molecule of every living cell. So what that means is it's regenerating and rejuvenating every different type of cell in your body. So it's accelerating every natural mechanism the body's capable of. Bottom line, it's giving your body the energy to heal itself in the most efficient way possible. So that's why this one device is used for pretty much any health condition you can think of, because it's just supporting natural healing really efficiently.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
let's do it. I've never used this.
This is the professional grade. This is the device that I sell the most, just because this is literally the most effective home health device in the world. And I like working with the best. There is a bottom tiered one this one is a little bit cheaper. This is about 8 times more effective, but this does still pack a punch.
Got it.
So,
all right. Well, you're
giving
doing
you the heavy
today.
duty. Yeah, absolutely. And we're gonna double time. Let me grab my other one.
All right. So for those of you who, I don't know, maybe don't know this, I've never done like a laser therapy, so I'm excited. And I think maybe there's some unknowns out there for people, or I don't know, fear, but let's do it and see what it feels like.
Yeah. So most of the time with Comra, you don't feel anything. The most common sensations, if you feel anything, it would be very mild. Common things are feeling things be a bit looser, maybe feel a little bit of blood rushing to the area, a little bit of mild pulsing, maybe some mild tingling, or nothing at all. Oftentimes the first sign that it's working is just pain relief. Fun fact about this is that everybody who has used this sufficiently responds. 100%.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not expecting you to feel anything.
Okay.
But we'll chat while I treat. So
all right.
This is how I go about doing this. So you told me that you have some pain right about here, right?
Yep.
I can feel it. All right, I'm just going to rotate you.
Ooh, here we go.
All right. Now, one device is all someone needs. I just use 2 when I'm treating in a time frame. In a clinical setting, I always advise using 2 just because you can treat twice as much in half the time. So,
and you work with different like doctors and acupuncturists and chiropractors and things like that, right? Who use the same treatment?
All the above: massage therapy, occupational therapy, physical personal trainers, physical therapists, PT are my favorite to work with. It's just really the best complement. But really anybody who's looking to help the health of their patients in the maximal way. This is something that it's great for a clinical setting, but it's also something that I have an affiliate program that it can add a revenue stream to someone's practice as well.
Cool. That's awesome. help people make more money, I'll want to do
By
that.
helping people's health outcome.
That's a win-win-win. I like it.
Absolutely.
So how often would you do this? Like if I want to get treated, how often would I need to do this?
So the rule of thumb is that you treat daily until you feel some change, and then you can kind of taper off from there. Okay. So with what you have going on, you would probably only need a few treatments. It's ideal to have the first couple treatments as close together as possible. You want to saturate the body with enough healing energy at the beginning, and then you can kind of taper off.
Got it. Okay. And what's the normal amount of time that I would do this?
So in terms of treatment time,
yes.
Something like this with one device, maybe like 12 minutes, something like that.
That's not bad.
No.
It's pretty easy. You can fit that in.
This is, you just have some tightness going on. It's nothing serious. If you're treating the whole shoulder, like let's say you have some rotator cuff issues, you would treat the whole area around here. I always treat the spine as well with any issues, just because you never know how much is stemming from there as well. The beautiful thing about this is you can't overdo it. You can't cause any damage. And so you want to treat everything that could possibly be contributing to whatever is causing someone issues. And then the body has the energy the body always knows what's wrong and how to fix it. It just needs sufficient support, which this is providing.
Really cool. Is it hard for someone to do on themselves?
No. Okay. So it's very, very user-friendly. There's only a couple settings on the device. I won't, take up time going over that today, but there's only 3 different frequencies. They just target different depths, and sometimes they correlate to a different frequency of a part of the body. For example, the heart is the strongest frequency of the body, and so you want to make sure that over the heart specifically, you're only treating on 5 hertz is the setting on here that's closest to the frequency of the heart. It's still not exact, so the heart is the only place where you would only want to do 5 minutes per day over the heart.
Okay.
And that's just because while it's close to the frequency, it's not exact, and so you don't want to run any chance of disrupting the heartbeat. But that would be a very, very mild thing anyway. And if you're following the protocols that it comes with, you're never going to run into that issue.
Awesome. And so what are some of the main things that you treat? Because I know, I have, some shoulder pain, but you treat some really, severe or, medical conditions.
Side note, while I have the devices like this, love things that are elastic. This is a perfect example of how it's really easy to treat yourself. I'm completely hands-free right now.
Woohoo!
Sports bras are amazing. But in terms of what things Calmer has been used for, the two, I'd say I can give you both ends of the spectrum. Tendonitis is about the easiest thing to address. I've had a few different cases of mild tendonitis where they only needed one treatment. My favorite example of that is this was a friend of mine, and he had an inflamed IT band, and he was limping for a couple weeks when he came to me, and I gave him about 18 minutes of treatment or so, and he stands up and he starts tentatively putting pressure on it, and then starts stomping on it, and then kind of does a little jig, and he goes, he's like, okay, so you're my friend, so I was going to boost your ego, but I literally have no pain right now.
That's awesome.
That was last year, October. We're now in September. He still had no pain.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So I also had a guy who I met on an airplane. It does check on an airplane, in case anyone's curious.
Nice.
I treat myself during the flight all the time. And I have met multiple amazing people that way. And so this guy, it was a 6-hour flight, Honolulu to LA, and he had knee pain for the past 3 years. 25 years old, in the Army, had knee pain for the last 3 years. Also, for the last 3 years, his legs would swell anytime he'd get on an airplane, and it'd be painful.
Yeah.
And so he didn't put that connection together until we were talking, but I was like, well, I have it with me. I can give you a treatment if you'd like. And so I treated the left knee. About another 10 minutes or so go by, and he goes, okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought you were a little bit crazy. I have no pain in my left knee. Can we do the right one?
I love it.
I get that reaction all the time. It's fantastic. So many people are like give me these weird looks or whatever. I'm like, just try it. This is why I give the full money back guarantee. It's a risk-free investment. You don't have to take my word for it.
Yeah.
If I'm a liar, you get your money back. No worries. But so this guy that was, I think that was again October of last year. And he had 0 pain for 10 months after that one treatment.
Wow.
And he has a testimonial on my website. So, he was on his way to do rigorous Army training, has been on multiple flights since then in that 10-month period, and still had no pain after that one treatment. But again, there's also a huge positive correlation between how much someone works out and how fast they experience results. Just because when you're in the gym, you have your body's in a constant healing mode. Let's see what we're gonna use this guy. Sorry, I'm just changing the settings here. So when your body's constantly in repair mode, you're obviously healing so much faster. So this is going to expedite whatever it is that you're doing. So if somebody's not doing anything else to support their natural healing, they are still going to get relief. It is going to take longer. The more things that you're doing to support your natural health, the faster things are going to be. Before I had my own company, I was the VP of a wellness center. And we had women in their 90s who'd never worked out a day in their life come in, and they still got better. It just, took on the longer end of the spectrum.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, you've been working with this therapy for a long time, right?
Over 3 years now.
Yeah, so I mean, I know you've worked with lots of people with all different types of, all different ends of the spectrum.
And I apologize, I didn't finish answering your question. So the tendonitis is about as easy as it gets. The other end of the spectrum is anything autoimmune related, or like organ failure, life-threatening, things like that. So, or herniated discs, I'd say, are one step below autoimmune. So those are going to take a lot longer. It's a long journey. You can think about it this way. There's a great video I came across the other day that explained this really well, where an autoimmune state, it's an energetic deficit on a cellular level. So if you think about it, everything that we're doing is either adding to or detracting from the energetic support that our cells get. And so when you are depleting that energetic support for many, many, many years, an autoimmune state does not develop overnight. It is years, usually decades in the making. So again, on the flip side, to get that reversed, it is going to take time to support all your cells on an energetic level throughout your entire body. So it's not an overnight process, but if someone is patient, it does, there's great case studies with MS, rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia. I mean,
can the people find this type of information on your website?
Yes.
About these kinds of things? Okay. We'll put a link to Rebecca's website at the bottom of this video. So if you need to learn more, things like that, want to look up some of the things that she's talking about, you'll have access to that.
And there's plenty of stuff that I can email people as well. There's a very long list. I don't like to overwhelm people, but if whatever you see initially is not sufficient support for you, I'm happy to send more.
Awesome. I can already feel it starting to loosen up a little bit. Yeah, you don't really feel anything though. It's neat. There's no weird sensation or anything that I'm experiencing right now.
One of my favorite demonstration treatments that I did on someone, she had multiple herniated discs, and she was sitting with a desk in front of her, and she had her arm out. And as soon as I started treating, she put her arm down because she was having tingling in her left arm. And she thought it was just the angle of how she had her arm. And then when she put her arm down, she's like, oh, it's still tingling. And we realized that it was because of the treatment. I went a little bit further down her spine, and she started feeling nauseous. And then as soon as I stopped, the nausea stopped. So it was a direct correlation of the treatment. And at one point, both of her arms were tingling. She was like, this is crazy. Stuff like that is only going to happen when there's something going on with the nerves.
Okay.
So when it's just muscular like this, just a tension relief is usually the most common sensation.
Got it. Very interesting.
That's about the last minute that we really need to do here. You should be good to go.
All right. And so I like how you were talking about how you work with lots of, partners out there. You said PT and personal trainers and things like that. How do you see them using this to help their clients?
So it's something that is a wonderful complement to, what's good for now?
I can swivel.
It's a wonderful complement to any other modality, any other practice. Like I said, anything else that you're doing to support the natural body, it's going to accelerate that further. So whether that's nothing or 10 different things, you know, the correlation still applies. So it's something that's great for a clinical setting. I also have a partnership program for any location who's looking to resell the device. I have a great package that I offer different locations. So again, it's something that can add a revenue stream to their location as well, whether it's a practice, like a physical therapy clinic, or it's a nutrition shop or something where they sell supplements and things like that. It's a great something that they can add to their inventory.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and it's a really really great program I put together. Awesome. There's a couple clinics that I don't know what's their name when things are finalized, but
great. Yeah. Well, and you're the only person that does this in the U.S., correct?
I'm the only full-time distributor in the United States.
Wow, that's amazing. So if you want access to this, you have to talk to Rebecca if you're here in the U.S. And that being said, if you're looking to elevate your own health, or if you're looking to add something to help your patients elevate their health, highly recommend contacting Rebecca. We're going to put her information again at the bottom of this video so you can call her, start talking to her about how Comrade Therapy can help you. So thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
I feel better already. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in for this episode, and we'll see you next week. Bye.